Hello, this is Kimmi, Notary Life with Kimmi. Well, hey guys, today we are talking about, should I let people come to my house or should I not for notarizations? I'm doing this video because this topic comes up quite often, actually. Some people say, well, should you or shouldn't you, right? Like I already just said. Well, it's a good question. I got some things for you to think about before you start letting people come to your house. What about security? Do you feel safe to allow people to come to your home? You know, it's a big deal. Are you home alone? Do you have small children there? Do you want to list your address on your Google page? What about your neighborhood, your community? What would they say? Because some communities are so strict, they'll start calling the HOA president on you and say, she got people coming to her house. And, you know, do you have the proper permits or proper licensing to have people come to your home? And what about the fees? Can you charge the same thing if they come to your home? Or do you charge a little bit less since they're coming to you, of course, and you're not traveling to them, right? Some good questions to think about. So before we get started, as always, I'm going to tell you to check your state to see what's permissible. I need you to check your state also to see if you need any kind of permitting to allow people to come to your home. So I'm going to get into some of the pros of letting people come to you, and then I'll tell you what I do, okay? So let's get into it. So some of the pros are that you just don't have to leave the house. When it's raining, it's snowing, it's super hot outside, maybe you just don't feel like getting dressed. Somebody coming to your house, you could just throw something on, run downstairs or run outside, snap, stamp, gone, you know, and it's over, right? That's one of the benefits. Some things to think about also is when they come to your home, is it any less of an expense for you as the notary? You still have expenses associated with someone coming to your home, right? If you're running a business out of your home, you have expenses, electricity. Sometimes they want you to print. Sometimes they want you to scan back. Even clients, I get regular general notary work. Sometimes if they need me to print, they'll send me the document. I give them my business email and I print it for them. And I don't always charge a print fee, but I think I'm going to start charging. If you guys notice, I'm starting to add a little bit more to these bills around here with these clients because I've been giving away a lot. I'm about to start charging for that too. So, you know, charge a print fee. You may ask, well, what would a print fee look like? Well, UPS charges like $1. So maybe $2, maybe $3. I don't know. I might just charge $5 because I got ink, toner. You don't have a big printer. So all of that costs money. I have my insurance that I paid for, right? I got my insurance. So my E&O insurance. I have extra homeowners insurance. I mean, because I actually have permitted for I am permitted for people to come to me, so I'll talk about that in a second though. So you do have expenses even though the person is coming to you, so you still not charging no $2. You cannot be a $2 notary. So how do I allow people to come to my home, or why better? For the reasons that we already mentioned. Sometimes it's just to help the client save money. They already know they got to drive somewhere normally, you know. So they're accustomed to, I got to go drive to the bank, and they get to the bank. If the bank said no, they got to drive somewhere. If they went to UPS and they said, no, we can't do it, right? So they're still in the car. They got to go somewhere. So why not come to me? I charge a little bit less. I don't have to leave the house. I can run down in a little dress or something real quick and get it done. And they're usually pretty happy. They're like, wow, you do it at your home, you know? So some people don't want to, again, put their address on Google. For safety reasons, I always say think about that twice, because you might be coming out of a bad relationship and you don't want everybody to know where you live at, you know, and I understand that. Or you might be not be in the safest area, or your neighborhood may say no. So it's a lot of things that you have to think about before you actually let somebody come to your house. Now, what do? I personally allow people to come to my home. My mom, you guys know I lost her back in February. She wasn't particularly excited about that. But part of the reason I let them come is because she was here. I had her, and then my husband is here. And my neighbors are often home. I got a couple that's retired. They're always looking out the window. Their home, actually, windows are right across from my garage, so they can see what's going on. Most people know I have a business. They see the cars pulling in and pulling out. And it's not all day long. That's something else you got to think about. Our cars pulling up to your home all day and all night. The person that actually told me about the business, she strictly ran hers from home. She rarely left in Michigan. She rarely left her home. She had them come right there. And that's what gave me the idea. So when I first started my business, My husband was like, no, Kim, we are not letting people come to the house. That's a no-go. And I was like, okay, fine. So about maybe 5 to 6 months in, I was talking to the same person that actually told me about the notary business being viable to make a living. And she was like, well, Kim, most of the people don't even know they need a notary. They don't even know what it is until they need one, you know? She said they're normally not crooks. And I said to myself, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So I went back and addressed it with my husband again. I was like, hey, I told him the same thing she told me. I said, most of the people looking for a notary, they're not crooks. They don't even know what it is until they need one. And they're only here like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm missing out on money because sometimes I just didn't feel like leaving the house, you know, or the weather or whatever reason. So eventually he was like, okay, fine. So he'll come down. And sometimes they might be talking big and bad on the phone, right, about the price, or, oh, how much is that, or something like that. And then they see him, and then they kind of cower back like, oh, okay, let me shut up because this big guy is here, you know. So again, should you let people come to your home or not is a really, really personal business decision. I'm not going to encourage it either way because you have to look at all the things involved. Again, safety, security, pricing. Will you be able to sustain the same money? You know, because you're not going to make as much letting them come to your home. What about your community? What do they say? So think about all the things we talked about today and see if you can incorporate it. And then I will add this little caveat. I always say, as a public notary or notary public, whatever, our information is out there. So if they really want to find you, they can. It's listed with your state. Everybody can pull you up, you know. And again, I'm not encouraging it, discouraging, or whatever. You have to make a personal business decision. But do I feel that it has helped me in my business? I know that it has. Because a lot of times, like I said, I may not even want to run out. Or my client doesn't want to pay me to travel to them. I get a lot of people. So this is what I usually say too. This is just a little tidbit for the scripting part of this. I'll say something like, thank you for calling On Better Notary. This is Kimberly. And I'll let them know, hey, I offer 2 levels of service. If you like to come to me, or if I travel to you, it'll be this rate. If I travel to you, it'll be that rate. And then they'll say, now I've had a couple people say, oh, well, I'll just pay you to come to me. Like they big ballers, right? Shot callers. But that's fine. If they want to pay me the extra $15, $20, I'm going to get it, you know, most of the time. Now, sometimes after hours, if I've closed, like say I close at 5 and I don't feel like pulling my vehicle out anymore, then I'm like, I have no more mobile service available. You have to travel to me. You got to learn how to work your business. Let it work for you. It's not always going to be traditional 9 to 5, you know, W-2 mentality. You got to think outside the box. So what can I do to make it convenient for my client, yet I can make my money, right? So these are just a few things to think about. So should you let people come to your home or not? I don't know. You have to make that decision yourself. Well, this is Notary Life with Kimmi, guys. Until next time, bye.